A quiet village, tucked away in those rolling hills, golden fields, ready for harvest. Two people are at the heart of it all.
Okay.
First, there's Michael, a farmer known for his tireless work ethic and just a genuinely giving person by all accounts. And then there's Charlie, a bit more on the cunning side, not exactly known for walking the straight and narrow, if you get what I mean.
Oh, I see. Yeah, a bit of a contrast there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What happens when these two individuals, two very different approaches to life, will collide? One builds his life on honesty and hard work. The other, well, he's more about taking shortcuts. Where did those paths lead when they intersect? That's what we're exploring today.
Yeah, it's a classic kind of story setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that contrast, good versus bad, hardworking versus, well, let's say less so. Always a good recipe for a compelling narrative. But there's a twist here, right? You mentioned an unexpected turn. There's got to be more to it than just a simple clash and resolution.
Oh, absolutely. So let's unpack Michael a little more. The information you've brought really paints him as a man of strong morals. It wasn't just about working hard. It was deeper than that. Like, integrity was just woven into his character, and generosity was practically his middle name. Everyone in the village knew it. That commitment to his farm, it was unwavering.
Yeah.
This wasn't just a job for him. It was a way of life, a deep connection to the land, a responsibility he truly embraced.
Yeah, and it's interesting how much respect he earned in the community. It wasn't just about successful crops or anything. It was about the kind of man he was. You mentioned that his farm was passed down through generations, and it helped support a lot of families in the village. So he was a vital part of their world, not just working for himself, but for so many others.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, his work ethic, it's almost legendary. Up before dawn, working till sunset. I mean, that level of dedication, that's passion. It goes beyond just duty. And what's really striking is that despite all his success, the standing he had in the village, he was humble. Always willing to lend a hand, help anyone in need. Never kept his knowledge or his good fortune to himself. People always sought his advice on farming. A true pillar of the community, right?
Yeah.
Dependable, admired by everyone.
Absolutely. Sets the stage for the values we're dealing with here. It's not just about clocking in the hours. It's about a whole set of principles that a community thrives on. Diligent selflessness, that commitment to the well-being of others, makes the contrast with Charlie even sharper.
Right. Let's talk about Charlie. Seems like the complete opposite of Michael. Michael's all about hard work.
Yeah.
Charlie, well, he'd rather avoid it at all costs. Preferred those easier routes, even if they weren't exactly honest. Stealing was his go-to move. Not surprising the villagers didn't trust him. But get this, he'd never actually been caught. Sets the stage for their encounter, doesn't it?
That's a good point. Never being caught probably only reinforced his methods, even though they were wrong. And that lack of trust from the villagers, it isolates him, pushes him further away from that honest path, almost like a vicious cycle.
Now let's set the scene. It's a cool evening. Michael's done for the day back in his cottage. Village is quiet. These rustling crickets chirping peaceful. Suddenly he hears it. A faint rustling coming from near the barn. Instinct kicks in, something's not right. He grabs a lantern and his staff. Simple tools, but they're all he needs. And there in the dim light, he finds Charlie, a shadowy figure trying to make off with sacks of wheat from his storage.
That lantern, it's kind of symbolic, isn't it? It literally sheds light on what Charlie's doing, but it also exposes his actions metaphorically, brings them out into the open. And Michael's reaction, it says a lot about him. He doesn't explode in anger or anything. He confronts Charlie, but he's measured. He wants to understand.
Yeah, that confrontation, it changes everything. Charlie, what do you think you're doing? Not an accusation right off the bat, just a demand for an explanation. And Charlie, caught red-handed weed in his arms, freezes. Now his justification, it's revealing. He doesn't deny it. He tries to explain it as a necessity. Says his family is starving, that he had no choice. You can hear the desperation in his voice.
And this is where the story gets interesting. It doesn't make Charlie a one-dimensional villain. Shows us the circumstances right. The desperation that poverty can bring. Having to feed a family makes you think. Creates a conflict for Michael, too. He's been robbed. It's a violation. But he sees Charlie, too. Thin, weary. The information you brought mentions how hunger can drive people to do things they wouldn't normally do.
And in that moment, right, anger mixed with empathy. Michael makes a decision that no one would have predicted. Instead of turning Charlie in, he offers him a chance, an act of incredible compassion. He says, if your family is truly in need, stealing isn't the way. Meet me here at sunrise, work with me for a fair wage, and you'll have enough food to take home. It's not just about the theft, it's about a different path, a way out.
That's the core of this whole story, isn't it? It's so unexpected, goes against what you'd expect in that situation. Michael gets it. He understands human nature, believes in second chances. He's treating the root cause, not just the symptom.
Now, put yourself in Charlie's shoes. He must have been stunned, probably expecting anger, maybe even violence, definitely condemnation.
Yeah.
Kindness, especially from the person he's wronging. It's foreign to him. The information even says he'd never experienced such generosity. The villagers had shunned him. But here's Michael offering a lifeline. Hesitant, but he agrees.
And that's where Charlie's transformation begins. And it's through the very thing he's always avoided. Hard work. Pulling weeds, feeding animals, repairing fences. The information really emphasizes the physical toll it takes on him. The sweat, the aching muscles. He's never worked like this before.
But it's not just physical. Something inside him starts to change. He begins to feel a sense of accomplishment. Simple tasks, planting seeds, carrying water. Things that were second nature to Michael, they become sources of pride for Charlie. He starts to understand the value of honest work, the satisfaction of creating something with his own hands.
And it's not happening in a vacuum. The villagers, they've always known Charlie as the thief. They're seeing this change. Their skepticism turns to surprise. And that public aspect of his transformation probably pushed him even further, not just earning a living, but earning back respect, or at least making them rethink their judgments.
Weeks turn into months. Charlie works alongside Michael consistently. The information really stresses that passage of time, showing Charlie's commitment. And then the harvest arrives, the culmination of all their labor, fields of golden wheat. Imagine Charlie standing among the villagers during that harvest, not an outsider, not a thief, but a fellow farmer, someone who contributed to their shared bounty.
It's powerful imagery, right? It visually represents his integration back into the community. His past isn't defining him anymore, it's his present, his actions. And then that moment of gratitude towards Michael, he says, I owe you more than I can ever repay. You gave me a second chance when no one else would. It's just so raw, so honest. Acknowledgement of the impact Michael had on his life.
And Michael's reply, it sums up everything he believed in. All a man needs is the right opportunity. Hard work and honesty will always lead to a better path. It's faith in Charlie, but also in those core values he embodies.
And Charlie's story, it resonates beyond himself. It inspires others in the village, shows them change is possible, that your past doesn't have to define you. And Charlie himself, he achieves something remarkable. He owns his own land. Complete break from his past, a new honest life. His reputation changes completely. He's not the thief anymore. He's a respected member of the community.
Talk about a story of redemption. But it doesn't end there. Michael continues to be a force for good in the village. Not just a successful farmer, but someone who champions those in need. His legacy is more than just crops. It's about lifting others up, giving them a chance.
Absolutely. And then comes the real test. Not just for the village, but for Charlie too. A huge storm hits, threatens to wipe out everything they've worked for, flooding damage, potential devastation. And in this crisis, we see Michael and Charlie side by side, not as employer and employee, but as equals, leading the effort to protect their homes and their crops. Their determination to work together in the face of disaster, it shows how strong their bond has become, and the spirit of the community.
And amidst this chaos, Charlie faces his ultimate test. He comes across a traveler, desperate, hungry, trying to steal food, a mirror image of his past. But his reaction, it's incredible. He sees himself in that stranger. No judgment, no punishment. Just the same grace Michael showed him. He says, there's a better way. Come work with us. Earn your share and you'll never have to steal again. It's almost word for word what Michael said to him.
And the traveler accepts. It completes the circle, doesn't it? Kindness leading to more kindness. Redemption leading to further redemption. Charlie, once the recipient of grace, now becomes the giver, continuing that cycle of positive change.
Exactly. And the information you provided it concludes by highlighting how lasting this all was. Charlie's change, it wasn't fleeting. He becomes a leader in the village, stays close with Michael. His story becomes a legend passed down through generations, a testament to the power of kindness, the possibility of change. That final image of the village, it's shaped by Michael and Charlie's impact. Their influence is felt everywhere.
Leaves you feeling hopeful, doesn't it? Shows the potential for good in everyone. That compassion can spark real change. Not just for one person, but for a whole community.
It really does. The transformative power of kindness, the inherent value of hard work, and that enduring possibility of redemption. Their contrasting paths and that unexpected turn their lives took, it's a reminder of what truly matters. It makes you think, doesn't it? What kind of impact can a single act of kindness have? What potential for change might be hidden within your own community, and those you might overlook or judge too quickly? Could there be someone like Charlie who just needs a second chance and opportunity? And what role can understanding and empathy play in making that happen? Lots to ponder.
A lot to ponder indeed.
Thanks for bringing us this one. Until next time.